Congrats for the fight.
Thank you, mate.
Obviously, you was a massive underdog on this fight. Does it something who motivates you because it was not an underdog performance?
Yeah, mate, I love this. I'm built for this. All the haters online, I had a load of messages. Some guys just messaged me on Twitter, Instagram, calling me names, saying I was going to get smoked. Everybody thought this guy was going to be levels above me, and as you can see, he certainly was not.
You was the first guy who dropped him. Is there something who surprised you with his striking style?
Not really, mate. I train with the best gym in the world, American top team. I have the best coaches. Thanks, mate. Mike Brown, Thiago Alves, and Robert Whiteford. You know, we work tirelessly. You know, these guys in the gym, they're having to pull me back. I'm doing too much, and I'm under the best guidance. So these guys are fine-tuning me, whether it be rest, recovery, or push harder. I'm on a different wave.
Chris, over here. You said you were the man. You're the only Scottish fighter on the card. How proud are you to be representing Scotland on this world stage?
So I'm Scottish, born and bred. I'm a different kind of person, you know. I'm very primal. I'm very for my country. I played rugby for my country, for Scotland. I'm very proud to be a Scottish person. I carry the flag. It's covered in blood from my opponents. I'm from Stirling, Scotland, where the Battle of Bannockburn was in 1314. You know, I'm very, very proud to be a Scottish fighter. And like I said, I was the only Scottish guy on this card tonight. And yeah, I was super excited to go out there and perform in the way I did.
And your teammate, Dustin Poirier, was very famous for saying, "Don't be silly, jump the gilly." That's what you did. You were able to finish with the guillotine. Have you talked to him since then? He made a tweet, by the way, saying congrats.
Yeah, you know, Dustin was the guy who fine-tuned my guillotine with the grips that we use in American top team. The grips that I use is far tighter. The only issue with the grip that I take, it can slow down the chain of submissions or the chain of attacks going forward, but that one specifically is the tightest one. And when I locked it up, you know, obviously he was tapping for ages, but you know the ref wasn't close by, so I've just got to keep holding on and wait for the ref to come. That's not my job to stop.
And I've been following your career since the Bellator days. You've always had the pendant around your neck representing your mother. How proud are you of this journey?
Yeah, man.
It's okay.
So. So like, I lost my mum very tragically, and you know, I don't get to share things like the birth of my children and my wins, and that's why I started this journey. I was a shepherd before, and I stopped being a shepherd because my mum was ripped away from me at a very, very young age, and you know, I get jealous of people. You know, like I see like other mums celebrating time with their daughter or their son, and I don't get that. I don't get to share this with my mum. And like I say, I started this journey with my mum, and then I know people don't know this, but I had my first fight, my first amateur fight, when my mum died. That was the day of the weigh-ins, and I still went ahead and fought the next day. So like, I'm built for this. You know, nothing's going to stop me. You know, when people like pull out for silly reasons, like my mum died the day of the weigh-ins of my first ever MMA fight. Like, I'm as tough as they come.
We appreciate you being open about this, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Chris, over here. First of all, again, thank you for opening up. I think a lot of people can learn from that, and I think it's a show of respect to us as press that you open up.
Thank you.
Let's something fun. As we see, you're covered in tattoos, and I don't mean the tattoo you agreed with Jordan or whatever was written. Can we get the tattoo of "Don't be silly, jump the gilly"? It's
100%. I'll do that. I'm going to do that.
I have it on tape, yeah?
He's got it on tape. I'll do that. I like that. That's brilliant. I'll get it on my bum too. Or maybe on my neck. My missus will love it.
Yeah. Chris, another question is, you've been showing us different styles, developing yourself as a fighter, fight by fight. Every fight we see something special. In this fight we saw a crazy leg kick and a jab after it, which looked amazing. What's next for you? What do you want? What do you want?
Terence McKinney will be next. He's next in line. Much respect for him, you know. And obviously, you've seen how versatile I am on the ground. Mike Brown, Robert Whiteford, you know, they're a mirror image of each other. And then obviously, you've seen my striking coach, Thiago Alves, you know, kick punch. You know, we drilled this. There's some stuff that we didn't even get a chance to do in there, but, you know, these guys at American Top Team are thankless. You know, they do all this work. You know, I'm sure Mike Brown had his shin pads on maybe 450 times when I was there, on and off. Like sometimes it's 6-8 times a day. Thiago coming in tirelessly, coming in, holding pads for me. Poor guy's got to take the power in his elbows from me, you know. Robert Whiteford, you know, I came back fit as hell from America, and he's like, you could just see him sigh, ready to, you know, like take it on. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to have Robert Whiteford bring me into MMA and bring me under his wing. First Scottish fighter to ever be signed to the UFC, and he is the best fighter to ever come out of Scotland to date.
Chris, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Chris, just a quick one here. You were matched up with Terence before, and that obviously fell out. So what is it about that matchup that you want to get re-signed?
So it was nothing to do with anything in my power. I had visa complications, and then obviously it's a great matchup. You know, Terence is super exciting. Also, you know, he's southpaw, and I know Dustin's coming back for his last fight. I'd love to help him prepare, maybe help him, depending on who he's matched up with. Maybe me and him could be training partners for each other. You know, it's just the stars are aligning with that stuff.
And you mentioned about wanting to fight in Miami. Do you see that you being able to turn around for Miami?
I heard that's in 2 weeks. I didn't think it was in 2 weeks. But yeah, if I see Sean and he wants me to do it, I'll do it. You know, maybe I could ask him if we could do it 170.
Thanks,
'Cause
congrats.
I'm going to Shake Shack after this.
Chris, is here?
Aye, mate.
You made your pro debut on the first ever Unity Fighting Championship card, and Jordan also fought on that card and fought for an amateur title. And now you've both just shared the cage on the main card that you're two. Do you ever feel like just pinch yourself and think, how have I ended up here?
Yeah, I do, consistently. Sometimes I have to believe in myself. You know, sometimes I go through to my camps and I have imposter syndrome. And my coaches behind me tell me, you know, like, trust the process. Keep doing what you're doing. Because, you know, it's going to work in the cage. You know, I'm training with the best guys in the world at American Top Team. And then, you know, sometimes you don't get all the small things like trips and takedowns. You know, you've got to really work for it over there. And tonight, obviously, you've seen I landed everything that I needed to get the job done.
And you came as one of the biggest underdogs on the card, but you've resonated confidence all week. Where did you get that confidence from?
My work ethic and the gym I train at. You know, I've got these guys behind me. Like, imagine going into a fight camp and, like, putting all the work in, not cheating on your diet, not doing anything wrong, doing everything right. Like, what can go wrong? Like, when you walk in there, you know, it fills me with the utmost confidence. I was cool, calm and collected, and I was a sharpshooter in there tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chris, sorry, just one from me. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Chris, I'm from Poland, so I can't.
Kurwa.
I think that this word is well known all over the world.
Yes.
Every place where Polish people are doing something. Okay, so I need to ask you about some Polish team at ATT. Joanna Jędrzejczyk was cheering for you before this fight. Have you had any opportunity to spar with such guys like Mateusz Gamrot, Piotr Kuberski, Adrian Bartosiński, Vic Kłacz, and so
Yes.
on and so on? There is a lot of Polish guys in ATT.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of the guys who, when I first started going to ATT, Mateusz Gamrot was, you know, light years above me, you know, and he took me under his wing and helped me out. And, you know, at American Top Team, all the guys who are in there and who I've trained with, you know, like almost like help you, you know, they're for the team. And Gamrot was helping me with different things. And he actually, when I remember, I was fighting my Contender Series fight, and he was watching my sparring, and I was telling him what I was working on, and he was saying, "No, do this." And, you know, I can't believe, like, sometimes, like, this guy said to me, do you sometimes pinch yourself? And, like, seeing Gamrot on TV and then actually training with him, it's been amazing, you know. And there's some amazing fighters coming out of Poland right now. And, you know, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, an absolute pioneer, you know. I seen her in the lead up to the fight, giving out good energy. And then, obviously, she's got 2 Polish fighters there that obviously train the American top team, you know. Polish MMA is on the up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris Duncan, just a quick one from me over here. How hard is it training in the United States where they don't have any iron brew?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. The good thing about America, they have things like Celsius and stuff like that that kind of pull it up. Also, they have Monster. If Monster want to jump on as sponsorship, that would be fantastic. You know, I drink Monster by the gallon, so that's a good one. And my mate Robert.
Chris, just at the back here, kind of following off of that, more than the Iron Brew, moving your camp over to America, was that a tough decision, despite there being such a great team over there for you? You've spoke about how you're a proud Scotsman. Was it tough to kind of say, you know what's best for me isn't home?
No, not really. You know, my main training partner, Robert Whiteford, you know, I've followed in his footsteps and I've literally listened to everything he's ever told me when it comes to MMA. If Robert told me to put a biscuit on my head when I was cutting weight, I would do it, you know. Literally, I could have killed him when we were cutting weight. He's like, nah, jump back in the bath. I was like, sometimes you've just got to take yourself away from the situation and listen to your peers. And, you know, and when Robert said to me that it's time for you to go to American top team and get the best out of there. And I was one to go too early and he was holding me back. So, you know, sometimes you've got to listen to your peers and trust them. You know, and look where we are now.
Congrats, mate.
Thanks.
Chris, just a quick one from me. You mentioned the Octagon after the win that you're the most exciting Scottish fighter. Obviously, as a Scottish MMA fan myself, do you think putting these performances on and bringing up the level of Scottish MMA?
Yeah, you know, I go out there, wear my heart on my sleeve and kill or be killed. I have a tattoo down my spine that's in Japanese. It says, live by the sword, die by the sword. And I live by that day by day. I literally was going in there to die tonight. Like, I didn't care. You know, I'm built for this. The Scottish in me, you know, I'll go to the bitter end. And Robert said to me before I walked out, he says, do not let anybody take this away from you. Go out there and kill.
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, mate. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.